And before the interview, we said to each other, uh, Black Sabbath is a big part of your history. Are you not tired of it? That always people say Tony Martin, oh, Black Sabbath, former singer of Black Sabbath, or are you just happy with it?
Um, oh, there's two ways of thinking about this. Uh, Firstly, I mean, I have to acknowledge, don't I, that
Yes.
Yeah,
Sabbath is the reason that you guys know about me.
that's true.
Yeah.
Um, I can't deny that. I mean, it's like it's what made me work. It's what
Yeah.
made me find my voice and that.
Yeah. It put your
And that,
name on the map.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I can't really complain too much,
No.
because Sabbath is what sort of put me up there, and I'm very grateful for that. And it was an honor and
Mm.
a pleasure to have been part of it, but it was fucking hard work.
Yeah, I can imagine
Being
that.
in Black Sabbath was just it was really hard work. So I do have my moments with it, and I go, but on the whole, it's been a good thing, really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And your voice has been heard on 5 studio albums of Black Sabbath. Um,
Yeah, 6 with the compilation one,
yeah,
which was
6
Sabbath
with
Stones.
that. But what's your favorite album with Black Sabbath and why? Where your voice is on, of course.
I can tell you which was the worst.
Forbidden?
Yeah.
Okay. but your favorite?
But I don't really have a favorite.
No?
They were like, okay. Do you want me to run through these like
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Eternal Idol.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't have to do it much.
No.
Really, it was already written, and the lyrics were already there, and the melodies was already there.
And that was for Ray Gillen, right?
It was what Ray Gillen had done first,
Yeah.
and they used that as a guide for me, and that was really helpful. It meant that I didn't have to think about creating. I had no idea what I was going to do anyway, but it gave me a space to learn, to find out how they record and what they were expecting. So fortunately for me, the lyrics were already written and the melodies was already there. So that was that one. Then Headless Cross. Okay, now I'm writing my own stuff.
Yeah.
Now I've got to start creating shit myself. And so now, what am I going to sing about? You have to think about, where is this going to go? When am I going to take this? Okay, there's no point copying Ronnie James Dio. He's already done that stuff, that fantasy thing. And there's no point trying to do what Ozzy did, because that was written by Geezer Butler anyway. So what do you do? So I came across this thought that it would be good to have like a theme. So Headless Cross was kind of English history. And then Tour was Nordic history, the Vikings and that kind of thing. And I was thinking maybe you could keep going with these themes. Hey, I mean, you could have done samurai stuff. You could have done Red Indian American stuff. You could have had any like theme. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because they all have a good and an evil in them. And very battle orientated. So I was thinking I was going to go that way. Okay, well, they fired me. So that didn't work.
No.
So then when I came back, then Geezer Butler was in the band, and it went back to kind of more simple sort of 3-piece, 4-piece band sort of sound. Whereas Headless Cross and Tear, we had Jeff Nichols on keyboards, and it was getting really engineered, complex, with layering sounds, and Tony was layering guitar sounds, and I was doing like 50 tracks of vocals, and we was doing all these harmonies, and we had to have samplers to sort of fire all the vocals in and stuff like that. It was getting really involved. So when we got to Cross Purposes, that all went back to a more basic sound. So I liked that, and then Forbidden happened. And that wasn't great. Well, that was because of what the background story was, and nobody really talks about that. But it was hard work for me, because I didn't even know if I was really in the band. They sort of said that Ice-T was coming to sing some stuff, and I said, well, what is he singing?
Yeah.
And they said, well, we haven't decided yet. I said, well, is he singing 1 track, 2 tracks? Is he singing all of them? And they said, well, just keep going. We'll sort of see, what happens at the end. I'm going, well, that's not helpful at all.
No.
What am I doing here? Just tell me if you're going to fire me again or whatever. Just let me know and I'll fuck off. But no, they said, no, keep going, and we'll sort of decide towards the end. Well, even in the studio when I'm recording it, I still didn't know if I was going to actually be on the album because they wouldn't say yes or no. So I was just at a loss and I couldn't concentrate and it didn't feel right and everything was just wrong. So for me, Forbidden is wrong because I was wrong. It just wasn't working for me. Plus the fact that we had the rap thing going on anyway, which I didn't think would happen. Cozy Powell didn't think it would really work. Nice guys, honestly. Ernie C and other great guys, lovely, very funny and great to work with. But the rap thing,
a little strange, right?
A little,
very strange.
They were telling Cozy Powell how to play drums.
Oh man, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
You do know I'm Cozy Powell, right?
No.
And he was saying like, I can't see this working. Well, for me, it didn't. But you know what? There are fans out there that love it, and I just don't understand. I mean, to me, it doesn't work, but to a lot of people, it does, and it says something. So hey, whatever.
Yeah. If it works, it works. Yeah.
So you're asking my favorite? They've all different, and I don't really know if I've got a favorite. They're all good or bad for a particular reason at the time. I think they're all worthy. I do think they have a place, and it's part of the band's history.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of down to the fans really, what they sort of think is the worst one. I bet you Forbidden is the one that keeps coming up now.
Yeah.
But in the end, all the other albums where you're on, that made you where you are today. So that's good.
Well, thank you. I mean, I thought we were doing good work.
Yeah.
It felt like we were doing good work, and they kept asking me to come back. So,
please come back, Tony. Yeah.
Well, it was a bit like that. Yeah. I mean, even through the Dehumanizer thing, they were asking me to come back when they were doing the thing with Ronnie, and I was doing Back Where I Belong by then.
Yeah.
So when Tony first called me up, I said, "Can you come back?" And I went, "No."
You can't clone yourself.
I've got this going on now. And he went, "Oh, okay." Then he phoned me again and said, "Can you come back now?" I said, "Well, have you got a problem?" I don't actually know really what the problems were.
No.
But they said it's not going really well with Ronnie, and we thought we'd see if you fancied having another try. So I went, okay. So I went down there and I did try. The songs that they got, I needed to rewrite it. You know what I was saying about earlier on when my head won't let me, like do stuff. Yeah, there it comes again. So then I'm going, look, I'm going to have to rewrite like this stuff. And they said, well, we haven't got time really. I said, you know what? The best thing to do is carry on with Ronnie and sort it out, and maybe we can talk again. Well, then that's when Cross Purposes sort of came up.
Yeah.
So we were talking all the way through not all the way through, but through the Dehumanizer thing. And actually, way back in 1986, I was put on standby when they had problems with Glenn Hughes on the Seventh Star album, which scared me to death because I can't sing like Glenn Hughes. Nobody can sing like Glenn Hughes.
Whoa.
One of the best singers in the world.
Yeah.
He was a hero of mine, so I was scared of that. Then they found Glenn Hughes and got Ray Gillan, and then he left and joined Blue Murder, and it was just called me again. So my name has been attached to Black Sabbath from 1986 through to 97. So it's like coming on like 11 years, really.
Yeah, that's a very long time.
But I also, it's a very good sign that all the good singers Tony Iommi worked with, he's still asking for you. So he must be very happy with your voice.
I think they were. See, I think it was me that they didn't like. No, I mean, if I put it this way around, I mean, it was a very difficult situation for me. For a start, I'm 12 years younger than those guys.
Yeah.
So if you imagine being the older brother and you've got a younger brother, you don't want him tagging around like, when you're going out and doing stuff like. So it was a bit like that, being the younger brother. I was the new guy, and that didn't help. But our circle of friends were completely different. Their circle of friends were like Ian Gillan and Brian May, and my circle of friends was John up the road.
Yeah.
So that we didn't match even, and there was this permanent gap in between us of at least 12 years.
Yeah.
The experience that they had, the friends that they got, everything was always ahead of me. So it was like. It was hard to keep up with them all the time. For all of those years, it was always the same, and it never really changed, to be honest. So it was really hard work. Plus, they had this management thing where there was like everyone had got a manager. I had a manager. Geezer Butler had a manager. Tony had 3 managers.
3 managers.
It was a little bit like Spinal Tap, we'd got all those managers speaking and all this stuff. Yeah. It was just hard work, really hard work.
Yeah.
So I wish, I do feel honored and, pleased that I was there. But I just wish I'd had the time to enjoy it more.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So busy reading between the lines all the time. It was just, come on. Especially when you're on stage and they're only like 10 feet away, 2 meters away from you. And they said, no, talk to my manager. Oh, here we go.
Oh my God, here we go again.
That won't work.
It wasn't like that all the time. And the guys in the band were great. Mostly my issues were with their management having this, standoffish thing. And they wouldn't answer the phone and we couldn't speak to them and stuff. So it's just hard work.
Yeah. Okay. But that's Black Sabbath. That's history.